This is one of my all-time favorite ships, the U-Wing. I love the sleek, but also very X-Wing style of this ship that we saw in Rogue One, and I knew I had to capture this design in LEGO. This MOC only has 848 pieces, but it feels like it has so much more because of all the features it has to offer. And I use a lot of the design features from the official LEGO set, but as you can see, it is highly improved and highly changed from the original model. The largest difference is this interior. It can seat 6 passengers, including 2 pilots and 4 people in the back. The sliding doors operate just like the LEGO set, and I knew I had to incorporate that feature as they had come out with a really good design in opening those doors. And the wings are pretty much the exact same design of the ball joints popping into place because it's just perfect for this size of ship. I've seen a lot of other MOCs use snot technique of the wings to make the bricks kind of build off to the side, but I really wanted to have a very tiled off wing and keep the design very sleek, very slender with these wings that open up. And it is such a large wingspan, and it feels so good in the hand to hold it like this.
U-Wings reinforce those troops on the beach.
Troop reinforcements! Here we go!
The original LEGO set had a really large underbelly to the ship, and I really had to keep bringing this up and up and up to get it as skinny as possible. And it is about at the breaking point. This is about as, small and streamlined as it can go, with minifigures believably getting in and out of the ship. And the scenes in Rogue One at the end of the movie where they're actually, dropping off guys as they get out and onto the beach is just so cool. Such a, war-defining moment. And I really wanted to capture a ship that could drop off troops in such a way. And I think I have in this ship. I've seen a lot of large U-Wing MOCs that have to compensate for all the features in this ship by going larger, but I couldn't bring myself to go that large. I wanted to keep it down. And this actually ended up being 1/51st scale because I did want to size it back down as it becomes a large ship. And that's how I like to scale things. As it gets bigger, I want to make it more play scale. And you could enlarge it past the wings to make it 1/45th scale, but I think it's perfect where it is, and it scales really well with the other ships in my arsenal. When I made the ship, I absolutely had to have 2 pilots up in the cockpit, and it was so tough having these kind of floating seats side by side, but I accomplished it, and I'm really impressed with what I was able to design here in such a small space. And to get inside the ship, all you have to do is bend back this greebled area, and it gives you free access to pull this off, which has 0 studs. It's just held in place through gravity and then friction of this greebled area holding it back. And if you don't push it hard enough, it might fall out, but it's pretty good about being held in place. And this is really a swooshable ship, even though it's so large. And I really sweated the details of this ship. I really wanted to include the glass on the door, which I did, and this big glass up front to where the passengers can see out, but the pilots can see under them. It makes so much sense for a drop ship, and it's just details like that I had to include. I could not skimp out on them. The little side glass up at the front, it is really minimal, and it should be a bit bigger, but there's only so much you can do with these bricks, and I believe that, again, I think I've done it to the best you can for this scale, even including this air intake area under the ship where it kind of angles in reverse of the ship. I just love all the design features that they made with the U-Wing. It really fit into the original trilogy, and Rogue One was such a fantastic movie.
Roger, I haven't completed my calculations.
I'll make them for you.
So if you want to build this ship, the instructions are up on Rebrickable, and it is 848 pieces, and it only uses about 30% of the bricks from the official Lego set. Because so much drastically changed with this, I try to use more. I try to use about 50% of an official Lego set, but this one just had to change so drastically, I couldn't, and I could only use about 30% of the pieces. The most expensive of which is this windshield, which came from the bottom of the ship, and now I put it on top. That's going for around $14 on Bricklink, which is kind of crazy. But if you were to add the around 550 pieces that you need to complete this and make it proper, that's gonna cost only around $50. I find that very reasonable, very approachable, and I think that is a steal for what you're getting in this ship. I know I'm biased, but I don't know, I love this ship, and I think for $50 on top of what you already have laying on your shelf, this is the best U-Wing you can get, and you can tell I'm a bit excited because I like this ship a lot. If you decide to build this, you should know that the stickers that I use on the windshield piece are actually cut out white sections from another sticker sheet. I actually used a very small 501st sheet, as you can see right there, and it just took an X-Acto knife, cutting out extra white around another sticker sheet. That length is 1 3/4 inches. So if you can manage to do that, you can put your own sliver of a sticker onto the windshield piece. So there you have it, guys. This is the U-Wing. Again, I think the details on this are just so great. It is, again, one of my favorites, so I do have a bit of a bias. And what makes this ship so hard is it has so many features in hard places. You have really thin walls, you have glass in multiple areas, you have opening and shutting of wings, of 2 doors, you want to get access from above. It is one of the hardest builds I have had to tackle, and I've had multiple instances of having to build, rebuild, and do again. But I think it really came out how I wanted it, and I'm really happy with the end result here. I think the U-Wing is one of my favorite ships because it just tells such a good story in Rogue One. They have to interact on the ship constantly. You're seeing the features of the ship. You're seeing them, go in, go out, get in, get dropped off in the ending scene with the troops going in. It is such a cool interactive ship. It feels like a character in the movie. And that's why I think I like this ship so much, is because it told such a good story in a brand new Star Wars film in the modern era. And man, I do love having it in Lego form.